starting chapter 8. This first lesson in chapter 8 is on pennies, nickels, and dimes. So we have a new essential question. Our question for this whole chapter is going to be, how can I count and use money? Okay? And like I said yesterday, we'll be doing like a fun project where we have like a classroom store, and you're going to have to count and use money. But first, let's review some of our money. Okay, our first one is the penny. Now, you can see I have the penny up here, nice and big, and I have it on this poster. This penny has Abraham Lincoln. Who was Abraham Lincoln, Raylan?
A president.
A president. He was our 16th president, and he has been on this penny since 1909. So over 100 years he's been on the penny. Now, on the back of the penny, there is the Lincoln Memorial. And if you look really closely, we're going to do this on Monday. I'm going to get out real pennies. We're going to look, and really closely, you can see Abraham Lincoln sitting in a statue at his memorial. Now, it's just a statue of him. But there's actually on the back of the penny a little Abraham Lincoln. And if you look at this penny, what color would you say this penny is?
Brown.
John?
Brown.
Brown. And so pennies are made out of copper. And so whenever you see a penny, it's going to be kind of a brown color to
Like
it.
brown. The copper.
Okay?
Wait, the front is tan and the back is kind of black.
They're pretty much the same color. Louis?
Is Abraham Lincoln the one who got shot?
And yes.
I stacked up on. Abraham Lincoln.
Did you forget it? If you think of it, Louis, just raise your hand again, okay?
Okay.
So the penny is worth 1 cent. So if I have a penny, it's worth 1 cent. Now this is the symbol for cent. It's a C, but it's a C with a line through it. Okay? Now there's another way to write this. This is another way to write it where I use the dollar sign. And I say I have $0 and, oh, there's a decimal, so what can I say? And then this would be 1 cent. Mrs. Murphy does not write it like this. Because that would actually mean that I have 10. So I have to put that 0 there. That's why Mrs. Murphy always puts that 0 there to show you that you have 0 tens.
Well,
You just have 1 1. Okay? So that's another way to write that. As we start working with like dollars, you're going to have to learn how to write possibly with the cents being like 0 1, 0 2. Okay? All right. The next one we're going to learn today is the nickel.
George Washington.
And on the nickel, it is not George Washington.
What?
It is President Thomas Jefferson.
Wait.
Now Thomas Jefferson is on the nickel, and he's on the nickel since 1938, so almost 100 years ago. And I forgot to mention about money. There is what we call the head of a coin
And tails.
and the tail of a coin.
Heads or tails.
So when we play the game heads or tails, this would be the head, this would be the tail. On the tail of this one was the memorial. On the tail of this one, it says, no, it says Monticello. And Monticello is where Thomas Jefferson lived. It was a very large home, and that's where he lived. That was his home. He built it, he designed it for himself. Do you guys remember? Did he live in the White House?
No.
No, there wasn't a White House back then. So his home, Monticello, was kind of where the president lived. That's where he lived. And it's a very famous home, and you could actually go visit there and tour there. And I think I told you that when we talked about the presidents. So that is called Monticello. And I agree with some of you. It kind of does look like the White House a little bit, but it's not. Louis.
This guy right here, this guy right
They could. They just don't change it very often.
And my other one is, who was the Secret Rogers?
You've already missed it, so we got to go on. Okay. All right. Last thing, Corla. We're in the middle of the math lesson, Brooklyn. What number was he? George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson. Number 3. He was our 3rd president. So good question. He was president number 3. Also, you noticed this is what kind of the older coins look like, but they do have some newer ones. They kind of designed it to kind of update it. So you might see a nickel look like this. You might also see it look like that. Now, what color is the nickel? Elias, what do you think?
Gray.
Like a gray or a silver color?
Yeah.
Grayish. Now,
Grayish.
the nickel is bigger than a penny. And it is also worth 5 cents. So you would need 5 pennies to get you 1 nickel. So to trade. So if Ken had 5 pennies and said, Mrs. Murphy, can I trade with you? I said, sure, I'll give you a nickel. And that would be an even trade. Okay, they're equal. Okay? Again, 5 cents or $0 and 5 cents. Okay? Kinsley. You have both? Cool. You have both the newer and the older one. Okay, now the next one we're going to talk about today is the dime. Now on the dime, hold on 1 second.
The dime's a little than a penny and isn't a dime littler?
Oh, Mrs. Murphy forgot to type dime. I thought I had that in today.
Right there.
Okay, I wanted you guys to see. Okay, on the dime is the 32nd president. We just talked about him. Franklin Roosevelt. And he's on the dime. And on the back of the dime, the tail, there's like a torch and there's some like, not flowers, but like some plants growing. Okay? And if you look at the dime is worth 10 cents. So I would need 10 pennies, or I would need 2 nickels, because that'd be 5 10. However, the size of the dime is the smallest. Does that make sense?
No.
No, it doesn't make sense. But the dime is the smallest coin. You're not going to find a smaller coin than a dime, but the dime is worth 10. Okay? Raylan. Forgot?
Oh yeah. Why are there like plants or whatever it is?
You know, there is a reason for that. Let me just think. I knew at one time. Do you remember, Mrs. Stewart?
I don't.
I did at one time, no, because I looked that up, and of course, I kind of forgot. Let me look, Raylan. I'll look right now. And there's probably a specific name for them, too. Let me look really quickly. That's a really good question. And hopefully Mrs. Murphy will remember it again. Okay. 1 second here. So,
It's like a torch and then
an olive branch. That's right. So a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. So olive branch means that kind of like if we're fighting against each other, Raylan, back in the olden days, they would give each other an olive branch saying that our war is over, we're going to have peace. So kind of an olive branch means peace. Okay? So that's why they have the olive branch, and kind of like an oak branch too. Oak branch kind of represents peace and strength. So the olive branch is peace, and the oak one is like strength. Because oak is very strong. Oak is really strong. So our country wants to have peace and be strong.
They're having some trouble with the internet. So they need
Oh.
something printed.
Okay.
Deb can print it. for
Okay.
you.
Thank you. I'll send it to her then. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know, because I kept printing something. And
Yeah, that's what she said.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Okay, so good question. Now Mrs. Murphy will remember that. This one is the, what is that one? The olive branch, and that's peace. and the oak branch is straight. Okay, Kinsley. Did you forget? Okay, it's okay. All right, I'm gonna get these four, and then we gotta move on now. Okay, Wyatt?
Was Franklin D. Roosevelt on the dime or just Franklin Roosevelt?
Franklin, it is D. D is his middle initial. So it's Franklin D. Roosevelt. Same thing. Okay? Liddy.
What does the dime say?
It says liberty. So freedom. Liberty. Yep. So Liddy, notice on the front of the dime, it says her name. Spelled a little different, but it's liberty.
But it's actually not her name.
Good job. All right. Mason, thanks for raising your hand.
So go back to stuffing.
I need to know what the thing is.
The thing that you're turning real in, that thing.
With the olive branch and the oak branch. Okay. Yeah, but we're not going to do that. That's okay, but we're not going to do that today. Okay, Brooklyn.
Why did you erase our names up here? Like off for the books and stuff?
Because I've already told you when you lined up to go to lunch.
And my other one is
Brooklyn, you're kind of missing a lot of things because you come into the room late. Okay, questions about this, not about this. We're doing math.
no, it's about the
Okay, but from now on, when we're teaching about math, your questions are about math.
It's not a question though. Whenever we flip the coin for a penny, I always pick the tail for some reason. It's just my lucky thing. My sister always puts the head. It's our lucky thing, and the tails always beat the head.
Always do the heads. Okay, Kinsley. Yep. Okay. Now we're gonna just talk about these three. We're gonna do a coin song real quick, and I have lots of fun money songs, so we'll probably do a different one every day because there's like 5 or 6. But this one we'll also talk about the quarter, and we'll do this quarter on Monday. So Monday is the quarter, but it does have it in the song, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So this is gonna refresh our memory.
A penny is one, a nickel is 5, a dime is 10, a quarter's 25. A penny is one, a nickel is 5, a dime is 10, a quarter's 25. Those are the coins that we use every day. We use those coins every day. Those are the coins that we use every day. We use those coins every day.
You don't really use those coins every day.
A nickel is 5, a dime is 10, a quarter's 25. A penny is 1, a nickel is 5, a dime is 10, a quarter's 25. Those are the
kind of
coins
line,
that we
25,
use
10
every
and
day.
25.
We use those coins every day. Those are the coins that we use every day. We use those coins every day. How much these coins are worth? That's a nickel, that's a nickel.
You usually use your credit card every day.
That's a quarter, that's a quarter.
25 cents.
That's a dime, that's a dime. 10
Liberty.
cents. That's a penny, 1 cent.
Liberty.
A penny is 1, a
It says
nickel
that
is 5,
on
a
every single
dime
one.
is 10, a quarter's 25.
or made. So if the year is like in the 1900s, that's a pretty old coin. But if it's in the 2000s, it's a little bit newer. Okay? So whenever you see coins, whenever you get coins, look to see when they're made or minted. Okay? And if they're very old, you might want to keep it because that's pretty cool to have an old coin. And John made a really good point to Mrs. Murphy. He goes, Mrs. Murphy, we don't use coins every day because we use credit cards. And that is true.
Or now.
Way back when, before credit cards and all that other stuff, we would carry cash all the time. Now we have checks and even credit cards. So a lot of times we don't have as many coins or carry coins like we used to. So that was a good point, John. But these are the most common coins we would use. Okay? All right, Mrs. Schaefer's first group, push your chair and you may go with Mrs. Menegay. Okay, line up and wait nicely, please. Wyatt.
I think one time I found a 17th century coin.
Wow. Cool. Okay. All right. Last three things, then we gotta get going. Eden.
If it was, I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. All right. Kinsley.
10 and 1. 10 and 5, 10.
You forgot too. That's all right. We'll talk more about coins on Monday, okay? And I'm gonna bring some more. I'll bring some more coins in too. Kinsley, you remember? Okay. What was it?
I seen a penny was,
Like a wheat penny?
2020.
Oh, 2020. So a brand new penny. You found a 2020 penny? Almost brand new.
No, it was on the thing.
Oh, it was on here? Okay. All right, last one, Lewis.
On the 25 cents, is that George
We
Washington?
will talk about that yet, but yes. We'll talk about that Monday. Okay, now, we are going to, on this gumball machine, we have gumballs, and this gumball machine is a 1 cent. This one, which is a penny, this one's 5 cents, and this one is 10 cents. So for today, we are just going to write copy 1 cent, and I want you to practice your cent signs, 5 cents, and 10 cents. Go ahead and do that right now. So penny is 1, a nickel is 5, and a dime is 10.
I feel I'm past.
If you haven't put your name at the top, please do that. I think I forgot to mention that. Okay, name at the top. Then when you have that, wrote out your coins, penny, nickels, and dimes and their value, would you nicely turn it to the inside page with the guided practices? Nope, the cent sign goes after 1 cent. So when you say it, then you write it. Yes, the dollar. Wyatt had a good point. He said, Mrs. Murphy, wouldn't the cent sign come in front of it? And I said, no. For the cent signs, you say the value, and then you say cents, and then you write the symbol. So this would be 1 cent, 5 cents, 10 cents. It is different than the dollar. The dollar sign goes in front of it. The cent sign goes at the end. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the guided practice. I'll get you just a minute, Jen. Okay? At the top, we have dimes that are 10 cents, nickels that are 5 cents, and pennies that are 1 cent. 1 cent. So we need to practice skip counting. Counting by tens, counting by fives, counting by ones. So if you have dimes, you're going to count by tens. So if I have 2 dimes, I would count by tens. 10, 20. Go ahead and say it and trace it. 10, 20.
I did all of them already.
The next one is nickels. So if I have a nickel, I'm counting by fives. So on this one, if I have 2 nickels, I have 5, 10. Go ahead, count it and trace it. And the last one is pennies. If I have 2 pennies, I'm counting by ones because they're worth 1. Their value is 1. So I have 1 penny, which is 1 cent, and another penny would be 2.
I want something.
Now, here is the hint they gave us yesterday in the video, I believe. They said to find the value of coins, if you're counting them, you need to start with the coin that has the greatest value. So not the biggest coin, because if I look at these coins, this one's the biggest in size. But I would not start with that one for counting.
You would start with
What would I start with, Kaden?
dime.
The dime, because the dime has the greatest value. What is it worth? It's worth 10. 10 is the greatest value. It's actually the smallest out of these, but it's worth the most. So on this one, we have how much there? What do you think it is, Ellie? You forgot. Wyatt, what do you think? How much? 10. Can you come up and write 10? So that is worth 10.
So you know how you have those commercials that like you can buy more, like you can buy money. It's like buying money with money. So I can go on Google,
Okay.
look up a nickel, and then just start buying a whole bunch of them.
All right, now, if I have, nope, see up here. If I have 10 and I'm going to add a nickel, now I need to count my fives. I'm at 10 and I count my fives. So what would be next? 10. No, that's counting by tens. You don't have another dime, you have another nickel. No? So, no. Wyatt, think you're at 10 and you're going to add 5 more. Oh, he shakes his head. 10 plus 5 more would be 15. Now you need to stop and think. You're at 15 and you're going to add 1 more. So how much would that be? 16. So what is your total, Wyatt? 16 cents. So make sure you have that wrote down, just like Wyatt did. 10 plus 5 more is 15. Plus 1 more would be 16. Tracy's like I asked. Let me just grab a sharp one back there real quick. Okay, number 2. How many, oh, sorry, I was looking at that. Look at this one. Who thinks they can come up here and write down the value of each coin and keep counting on? We're counting on. So, Addie, you think you can?
Yes.
All right, Addie. 1 second. I'm just going to do this one. Okay, go ahead, Addie. Okay, then sharpen one loose, please.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, 10. And you're going to add 10 more. Then, what do you have? Another 10 would be good. Excellent, Addie. Good job. You fixed your mistake. Good job. Excellent. Addie's got this perfect. She has 3 dimes, so she knew that was tens. 10, 20, 30. And then she has a dime, so then, I'm sorry, nickels. And then she added another 5, that is 35. And then another nickel would be another 5, which is 40. And then a 1, which would be 41. Okay. Louis, excuse me, but you don't, Louis, look at Mrs. Murphy. Is it okay for you to yell in the middle of my math lesson? That is actually really rude. Okay, you're going to do the independent practice in a minute by yourself, but let's go on to the problem solving, okay? To the very, very, very back. Okay, you can cross off the brain builder. Okay, so we're going to solve this problem. Number 7. Jen had 6 dimes and 4 nickels. She lost 2 of them. How much change does she still have? So I want to show you 2 ways that you could write your money. But this is the first way that I prefer. So if Jen has 6 dimes, we are going to draw this out. And I'm going to make 6 nice circles. And in the middle, I'm going to put a D. Or I could put a 10. Okay? So if you want to put a 10 or a D, I am fine with either one. And I'll do both ways just to show you that you can do either way. So she has 6 dimes. These are my dimes. They're worth 10. Thanks, Addie, for just staying in here. And then she has 4 nickels. So if I'm going to write a nickel, who thinks they know the 2 ways you could write it? Hayden?
You could write either 5 or N.
Good job. You can write a 5 or an N. Okay. So you should have 4 nickels. Now, everybody should have that drawn out.
How many nickels do you have? How many do you have there?
Right here. Draw 6 times 4 nickels.
What's this one here? Is that nothing? Is that nothing? Let's cross it off then. Erase it. Okay. Here we go.
Now, the problem says she lost 2 of each of them. So it says of each of them, how many dimes did she lose? How many dimes, Charlotte? She lost 2 dimes. And she also lost 2 what, John?
Nickels.
Nickels. So we're going to X them out. 2 dimes, 2 nickels are lost because she lost 2 of each of them. Now, we're going to count this. John, do you think you can help Mrs. Murphy count the dimes first? Can you count them out loud?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Okay, but we're not going to use these.
40.
So 40. So we have 40 cents, 4 dimes. Then John, what if I have another nickel? I'm at 40. What would a nickel be?
45,
45, 50. So you are right. We have, or Jen should say, Jen has 50 cents.
I love cent sign each of them.
And I have your cent sign, so you don't need to worry about labeling it.
You should give me the money.
Number 8. Marcia wants to buy beads that cost 80 cents to make a friendship bracelet. If she has 2 nickels, how many dimes does she need to buy the beads? So let's start drawing 2 nickels, because we know she has 2 nickels.
Jenny and Barb had been best friends.
She has 2 nickels. So guys, if I have 2 nickels, how much is that?
They played
Kaden?
5, 10.
10 cents. So now, Carson, let's add a dime. How much is a dime? If I have 10 cents and add a dime, how much is that?
20 cents.
And if I add another dime, how much would that be, Carson?
20 cents.
We're counting by tens, because dimes are tens. I'm at 20. No, you need to sit down. I'm already done with that one. what, if you're counting by tens, Carson, I'm at 20, what would come next? 30. And I want to get to 80. I'm not there yet. I'm only at 30. So Carson, let's make another one. What would be another dime? How much would that be?
40.
Good. Let's make another one. What would that be, Carson? 50. Let's make another one. How much would that be, Carson? Good. Let's make another one. Because we're not to 80 yet. How much would that be?
70.
And then we need how many more, Carson?
One more.
One more. And what would that get us to?
80.
80. Okay. Now the question is, how many dimes does she need? So let's count how many dimes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She needs 7 dimes. Because that would give us 70 cents. And then she has these 2 nickels. 75, 80. So she needs 7 dimes.
Miss Murphy, I thought it was 5, 10, 15, 20.
No, those are dimes. Those are not nickels. Nickels count by 5s. Dimes count by 10s. Okay?
No, but I thought it went like 5, 10, 15, 20.
That's if you count by 5s. Then that would be right. Yep. Okay, when you have this done, flip it to that independent practice. And I would like you to try to do this on your own. Mrs. Stewart and I will walk around today because this is our first day with money. So if you get stuck or need some help, just raise your hand. Don't come find us. Remember, you're not lost puppies. We will come to you. And then when you hand it in, you may start working on your Dr. Seuss mystery picture from yesterday. And I only have 2 handed in. I only have LEA
Mine's almost
and
done.
LES are the only 2. That one's blank. So those are the only 2 handed in.
Miss Murphy,
Okay.
mine's almost done.
Okay. All right.
I just need to
Get
fill
to
the
work.
blue.